Hello, everyone, and from this beautiful, beautiful day in Texas. It is bright and sunshiny and beautiful. I am out driving, waiting for this Big 12 game to get over with. Looks like it's a tight game. Enjoying out blessing people with rides. Woke up to the news this morning, and y'all did too, that President Bush has passed during the night. Sending out well wishes to his family. I'm sure that they are celebrating the long and historied life that he led. I know that he was an awesome, awesome man. Him and Barbara had an awesome, awesome marriage. If you're looking for an example of a good marriage, that is a good, good marriage to look at. They were great parents, great grandparents, and great great grandparents. I believe that he always did the best that he could in all situations. He was a war hero, and he was actually in a downed plane, and he was MIA for a while, and they found him. I believe a submarine picked him up, maybe a ship, but very interesting story if you ever want to read into that. When he was president, I believe that he did everything that he could to make the best of things. Sometimes when you're in that situation, you got to make some decisions, and you're getting pulled every which way, and you just got to do the best you can. The man lived without fear. He was a very fearless man. He was a very Christian man. I believe that he listened to the voice of God. You have to understand that the man jumped out of airplanes when he's 80-something years old the last time. And that's a fearless living. That's living kingdom. You know, people say, oh, I have I heard this little voice in my head, this little sixth sense. That's not a sixth sense. That's not fear. That's God. God, that's God saying, hey, nope. I recently had this happen to me whenever my car got crashed the weekend before Thanksgiving. And, I've been crying out to God, why did this happen? Why did my car crash like this? And, because I was, could have made a lot of money the week of Thanksgiving. And finally, last night, God gave me a little bit of an answer. And on this, basically, I wasn't listening like I normally do. When I'm out driving, it's tuned in better than the radio's tuned in. As God really does lead me in my driving. Sandra can attest to this. She's seen it firsthand as to how God just maps it out for me. And God basically told me that I wasn't listening, and I was in grave danger, and something had to be done. So, if my car getting a little bit of damage and costing me a little bit of money prevented something way, way worse from happening, okay, I'm good with it. I understand. God doesn't cause bad things to happen. But God's definition of a bad thing and your definition of a bad thing are two entirely different things. So, back to President Bush and the fear. He lived without fear. The last time that he jumped out of an airplane, he was in a wheelchair. So he knew that he was going to have to crash down and more than likely face plant into the ground. And he knew that, jumping out of the plane. But he did it anyway. And in doing that, he face planted, busted himself all up, but he got up laughing and cheering and popped into his wheelchair happily and off he went. So, I mean, we should all strive to live that way. We should all listen to God's kingdom voice. And he really is an example of a life to live. And that's what I wanted to pop in and say today, and give y'all a little message of the blessings and peace that God has for you. And always be looking for God's message. I mean, you know, I've had God loudly speak to me before, and, you know, but I try to listen. But for whatever reason, and I don't know what I was doing Friday, that Saturday night, but I wasn't listening. So, I'm listening now, God. Very much so. And I read, you know, I look for signs. I look for, you know, signs in things I read, my emails, whatnot. You know, signs on TV, signs on this. And I do that. And that's what we have to do. And so, one more thing on President Bush that you may or may not know. He was an avid writer. An avid writer. Many people in our country hold letters from him. He wrote letters to famous people, to no-name people that you would never heard of, soldiers. He wrote and wrote and wrote. He was a very big letter writer, and wrote very well. And he loved to write. He loved to write uplifting letters that empowered people and got them, you know, going and just uplifted people. He wrote tremendous letters, and many people have been blessed with those. He was very, very good at that. So, you know, as you're going through your day and enjoying the day, just send a blessing and peace to them, to his family. And, you know, he's with Barbara now. And he, like I said, he lived to 94 years old. That's nearly 100 years on this earth. All the good things he was able to do, all the achievements he was able to do. You know, and I believe that he will be at the foot of Christ. And I will believe that he will have an armful of crowns to hand over to God. And that's so great. That is so, so awesome. We can all hope to strive for that. Alright, well, that's what I wanted to pop on here and say a few things about that. And love and blessings to you all. Cody, bless you with that new baby. Shonda, I love you, sister. Ma, I love you. Great grandma. And you will be a great grandma too. And I hope that y'all enjoy this. If you're not here in Texas, let's see here. Roll down the window. I'm going to put y'all outside for a second. Alright, there's a little Texas sunshine for you. Yep, that's what it's like in Texas on the first day of December. Boom. Alright, again, love and blessings. Bye-bye.